I think that we're alike, you and I.
You talk a lot. You don't understand me. You don't even understand yourself. You're just a thug who got lost in the mist and ended up here. You can't even control where you're going. Am I wrong?
Do you want to know something interesting? Most sharks are ovoviviparous, which means that the eggs hatch inside the female's body before the young are born. However, with some kinds of sharks, the number of eggs that hatch will differ from the number of young that emerge out of the mother's belly. Do you know why that is? Because of cannibalism. Right from the moment they hatch, they start eating each other inside their mother's uterus. The fratricidal warfare begins as soon as they're born. To each shark, all the others are just food to be eaten. Starting today, you are a Nakotsky member and my companion, so be wary of me.
Same goes for you.
Well, let's be friends and have some fun, all right? And hope that we will not end up as each other's final opponents.
No one who dares to raise their hand against a comrade ever dies a decent death. Remember that.
Well, that means our fates are sealed. Seems you and I are depraved and worthless.
Not true. We're both human, not fish. No matter who you are, you do not truly know what kind of man you've become until you reach the very end.
You asked me why I'm doing all this. But even if I told you why, I doubt very strongly that the knowledge would change anything at all. But let's say that I take the time to explain it to you. What do you think would happen then? My goal is to fulfill the dream even Jiraiya Sensei was unable to achieve. What I want is to create peace and bring about justice. Oh, I see. That is noble of you. That would be justice. However, what about my family? My friends? My village? They suffer the same fate as this village at the hands of you Hidden Leaf Ninja. How is it fair to let only you people preach about peace and justice? Once, the Land of Fire and the Hidden Leaf had grown too big. To protect their national interests, they forced feudal clans to wage war against each other, and profited from it. Otherwise, the people of the villages would have starved. As it happened, our little nation and its villages became the battlefield where the great nations waged their war. Each time they did, our nation was ravaged and laid to waste. After many such battles, the great nation stabilized, but our smaller nation suffered, and it barely recovered. You and I are both seeking the very same thing. We both want to achieve the peace that Jiraiya Sensei envisioned. You and I are the same. We're both motivated by our desire for peace and justice. The justice that I have delivered against the Leaf Village is no different from what you are trying to do to me. Everyone feels the same pain when losing something dear. You and I have both experienced that pain. You strive for your justice, and I strive for mine. We're both just ordinary men who have been driven to seek vengeance in the name of justice. And if one comes to call vengeance justice, such justice will only breed further vengeance and trigger a vicious cycle of hatred. Right now, we live in such a cycle. I know the past and can foretell our future. It is the same as our history. So we believe that human beings simply cannot understand each other, and they never will. The shinobi world of ours is ruled by hatred, and hatred alone. So, Naruto, how would you confront this hatred in order to create peace? I want to know what your answer is.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen, everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love. There are nexuses, causal relationships that cannot be separated. I want to sever the fate of this world. A world of only victors. A world of only peace. A world of only love. I will create such a world. I am the ghost of the Uchiha.
We lose, we take, we catch and get caught. We conform, and we make others conform. We do nothing but cycle between those roles. Take what we can and fight not to lose more than we must. But as hard as we fight, we will lose it all. The people we loved and were loved by will die. No matter what, someday we'll be forgotten. To live is to be unhappy. It's futile. Even so, small and grotesque as I am, short and cruel as this life may be, I still claw forward. I still search for beauty. Because it's worth it to keep choosing, to keep being chosen.
Something I'm scared of? Well, I suppose monsters. There are many types of monsters in this world. Monsters who will not show themselves and who cause trouble. Monsters who abduct children. Monsters who devour dreams. Monsters who suck blood. And monsters who always tell lies. Lying monsters are a real nuisance. They are much more cunning than other monsters.
They pose as humans, even though they have no understanding of the human heart. They eat, even though they've never experienced hunger. They study, even though they have no interest in academics. They seek friendship, even though they do not know how to love. If I were to encounter such a monster, I would likely be eaten by it. Because in truth, I am that monster.
You heard what I said and then called me a liar. Now you refuse to believe what I've shared. Your mind may not want to accept these revelations. But inside you there's a voice saying, accept it, it's the truth. Soon you'll know. Time will help. I feel sorry about your confusion, but this world's never really been about truth or lies. In this world, there's only one thing that's worth knowing. Hard facts. Despite this universal truth, people misguidedly choose to only accept the facts that appeal to their way of thinking. They're so limited, they can only accept the truths that are comfortable for them. So, this is simply about wanting to hang on to your personal power. Realizing things may not have been as we accepted them to be unsettles us. It's overwhelming.